Alright, this is IT Essentials 113. We are on week number 1, day number 1. Alright, so we got the course started. Over here we did a little bit of course intro, we did a little bit of background. The students should be working on chapter 1 of the text. We filled out the cards: name, date, tech background, career goals, learning concerns, course expectations. For right now, in the academic IT area, we're using this for a login. I am the instructor. I go by Mr. Dirksen. And then we started talking about some networking things. And so then we came back later on, and the students found their MAC address and wrote it on their card, and then found their logical IP address and wrote it on the card. Logical and physical addresses. For an example, here's an IP address here. We found those things using this command, so let me mark that. You have to get to the command prompt on your particular computer, and this is what you type. It would be a little different if you were working on an Apple computer or if you were working on Linux. Actually, you would use the same thing for both of those. ifconfig. And that wouldn't get you exactly everything we get here, but that's an example. We started the class and actually started talking about data. I kind of wanted to emphasize the fact that computers manage data, groups of bits. The term bits comes from the term binary digits, ones and zeros. Okay? We use software to convert those bits into some form of information, something that has value to us. And I gave the example, you might have your birth date, and the computer then can figure out how old you are using some software running on some hardware. So we listed some areas of technology. We listed software, hardware, then we linked them together and get a network, and then we talked about network security. Now what I think in this course, sometimes, for example, my main interest lies in networking, and then security, then software, and then hardware. Even though it's not my number one choice, it's still important to know about hardware so that you have a good overall understanding of technology. Now other people, hardware, they really enjoy working with hardware. And I enjoy working with it, it's just not my area that I would pick. Okay, so I think I have one more slide. We looked at a PC, personal computer. We talked about memory, processor, storage, terms we're going to use. Like this is like a hard drive or someplace where you store information. You store the data, actually. Memory is where the computer has the data in order to process it. The processor actually does the work. That's being kind of simplistic, but that gets us an idea. The next thing, the computer is connected to a switch. In that switch remembers the MAC address, so it knows this information goes to this computer based on the MAC address. A different MAC here, a different one here, a different one here. The switch is connected to a multi-layered switch in our scenario. It's connected to a firewall. The firewall actually uses fiber to another multi-layered switch, which is fiber then to the internet, as an example. We use the Iowa Communications, oops,